Thanks, Lorraine. So here's my story. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
So I wrote out a little talk, so I'm going to read it. And I might veer off, but here goes. I had a dream. A dream of getting a good quality education, having that as a tool for acquiring meaningful employment, and being able to build a comfortable life for myself. Well, part of that dream became a reality through a lot of determination and hard work. After finishing my Bachelor of Commerce degree, I accepted and started the reputable Master of Industrial Relations program at Queen's University. I thought I was well on my way of attaining my dream at that point. I finished the MIR program, and after a few months of searching, I secured a contract position at the Ontario Labour Relations Board as a conciliator. At this point, I was getting excited for my life to get started. But you know there's a turning point, right? Because I'm here. Then 6 months later, I found out that my contract wasn't going to be renewed. And I was told that I really had done nothing wrong. Just wasn't going to be renewed. Like, okay, this is great. So now I was still feeling confident that, because I hadn't done anything wrong, I had all this wonderful education and experience, and I was confident that I was going to find something else, and in a few months, and I was good to go, I was disappointed, but wasn't too concerned. Even though at this point the markets were slowing down, I still held hope. Months went by of focused job applications where I worked my networks, wrote customized cover letters and resumes for each application I was sending in. I went for a few interviews and was told that I'm an excellent candidate. But depending on the level of the job I was applying to, either was told that I was overqualified because of my master's degree for entry-level positions, and for mid-level positions, I didn't have the requisite 5 to 8 years of experience. I only had 3.5, because of 6 months at the labor board and 3 years from when I worked full-time during my undergraduate degree. So that I thought I would give myself that extra edge when I finished school by having this full-time experience, but it's not good enough. Soon after, my financial trouble started. I had applied for EI when my contract finished, and I was having many difficulties being accepted. Even though I had worked 60 to 80-hour weeks, including my travel time at the board, according to my record of employment, I had only worked 36 hours a week. And that meant I didn't have the required minimum number of hours to receive EI, and my claim was denied. Yay me. Luckily, I had some part-time work that I had done between my master's and my stint at the labor board starting, so I had enough hours to qualify for EI when I applied for the appeal decision. So I stopped working June 20th, 2008. Didn't receive EI until October, when the appeal decision came through. October. So for the months of July through to September, I had to turn to my then abundantly available credit to cover my living expenses. EI ran out by December 3rd. October it started, 15th-ish. December 3rd it ran out. And I was back to living off my credit. During this entire time, of course, because of the wonderful way the system is structured, I was still making payments on my OSAP student loans, mind you, on the side, even though I had no income. These payments were also, once again, from the credit that was slowly running out. This process of seek, cold call, create custom application, apply and wait continued for 1.5 years. Any entry-level position I applied for, I was told I was overqualified. Any of the other ones, I didn't have as much working experience as the other candidates in the ever-growing pool of applicants at this point. Eventually, I just stopped hearing back, and even the interviews stopped. My dream was slowly floating out of grasp. I started to wonder why I wasn't hearing back from any of the employers I was applying to. What barriers was I facing and how could I overcome them? I'm a smart girl, I can figure this out, right? I questioned everything. Was it because I'm a woman? Was it because I'm a visible minority? Should I make my name more mainstream so that I can get past the prejudice in the initial resume screening? I started questioning my own identity. My biggest barriers are that I realized that it wasn't really any of these. Or I'm hoping still. My biggest really are that I'm overqualified and underexperienced, i.e. young. I was stuck between a big, huge rock and a hard place, and I was stuck there, and stuck. I do have a little bit of good news for you, though. After living totally dependent on credit for the past year, I have now found employment. Yay. However, there is a however. I don't like the word but, so I use however. I now work for minimum wage. I've moved back in with my parents, and I'm having a very difficult time with my creditors. Each one calls about 9 times a day. 9, yes. Basically, yeah. No, they have my phone number, they can call. So enough about me and my unemployment and now recent severely underemployment. Let me quickly tell you about one of my colleagues from the Master of Industrial Relations program. Just so you know, it's not just me. We'll call her Julie. Julie couldn't find work in Ontario after graduation, and so she moved to BC and tried to test her luck there. After temping and feeling miserable and a lot of her savings being depleted, she moved back to Toronto to stay with family. She spent about a year in BC temping. After 8 months of unemployment here in Toronto, and not qualifying for EI because she hadn't spent enough time working here, she now has found work. Yay! She works part-time as an administrative assistant. She couldn't even find a full-time admin assistant position. She works as a part-time admin assistant. Let me remind you that she holds a master's degree as well in industrial relations. I'm certain that many more of us are severely underemployed from my program, but right now, I'm grateful to have any flow of income. My dream, I started this talk with, is now becoming a recent past memory, and now I'm starting to look forward for a new career path I can tread. New anything I can tread, really. I did participate in an Employment Ontario funded job finding program, but even 6 months of their help didn't help. There are no jobs. And once again, overqualified, underexperienced. Hello, my name is Radhika. I've paid into the EI system continuously since I was 14 years old. You guys may not know my age, but that's almost 14 years I've paid into the EI system continuously. I have a Bachelor of Commerce and a Master of Industrial Relations. I'm severely underemployed. I have shattered dreams and bleak hope for my financial future. That's my story. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my story.